Welcome back. In this lesson, we're going to talk about dates, how to talk about dates in Chinese. Like in many cases in Chinese, we talk from big to small or general to specific. So we go year, month, and day. And it's different from the order that we talk about dates in English, but once you get used to it, it's pretty simple and straightforward. So we say the number of the year. So here's an imaginary date, March 14th, 1997. So we say one, in Chinese, you just say the numbers. You don't actually have to say 1,000. We'd say 1997 or the year 1997. Nothing like that in Chinese. We just say 1997. So 1997 nian, that's year. 3 yue, that's month. And 14 日 or hao. 日 means day. Tian also means day, but we don't use that for dates. 日 is the more formal version. Hao is also possible. It's more colloquial, and it means number. Like if you say building 14 in Chinese, you'd say building 14 hao. So it means something like number. It's not the way you say the word number when I say I want to talk about 3 numbers, but you use it in numbers. And so 1997年3月14日, or in Chinese 1997年3月14日. Now, talking about months, it's very simple to talk about months in Chinese. In English, we have words like January, February, March, and so forth. In Chinese, you simply go number, month, and that's how you say the month. So January is 1月, February 2月, 3月, March 3月, all the way down to December 12月. So it's super simple. It's very similar to the days of the week. When you go, week 1, that's 星期一 means Monday, 星期二 Tuesday, and so forth. And so it's very similar in concept, except for the number comes first, and then the word yue. I want to point out quickly about yue that when you don't put a measure word between the number and yue, because if you do, let's say if I say 3个月, meaning that means 3 months, not March, the third month. It means 3 months. So if I talk about 3 months, I say 3个月. If I talk about March, it's just 3月. So I want to point that out. There's no measure word there. And so, how do we ask? Next, I want to teach you how do you ask what date is something going to happen. And it's very simple again. Very similarly to days of the week. When you say 星期几 means week, how many, and that's how you ask. Because the answer is a number, the same concept here. If I want to say which month and which day, which date, I didn't include the year here. We can add that as well, 几年. But we'll just talk about months and days here, because normally in the context of a year, if you're talking about which date, you usually don't use the year. If I want to say which date are we starting vacation, I would just say which date. I would say 几月几日, how many months, how many days, or 几月几号. Again, I can use 号, it's less formal. That's how you ask this. So this is the question, which date? 几月几日. And incidentally, isn't it nice that you have a whole phrase here that's super simple characters? It's like one of the easiest phrases to write because all these characters are super simple. And so just to go over it again, in America, we would say March 14th, 1997, and then we'd write it this way, 3/14/97. I believe in Europe it would be 14/3/97. So it would go from small to big. But in Chinese, it's 97/3/14 because it's big to small. So it's year, month, day. And the phrase is 1997年3月14日 or 14号. That's how you talk about dates. In this grammar point, we're going to talk about how to tell time. Super important to know. And it's very similar to English in that it's hour and then minutes. Again, it goes big to small. The word for o'clock in a phrase like 3 o'clock is dian. Dian means point. And so it makes a lot of sense because on a clock face, you have 12 points, and each point represents an hour. So dian is how you say a clock. sometimes you can say 点钟, which means like point on a clock. 钟 means time or clock, something like that. So that is, it's a more full phrase that you can use when you're talking about whole numbers like 3 o'clock. You can say 3点钟. But when you add minutes, you omit the 钟 and you can also just say 点. So let's just focus on that, 点. The word for minute, the full word is 分钟. 分钟 means minute. But when you talk about minutes in time, like 3 o'clock, 3:14, for example, you would say just 分. So 3:14 would be 3点14分. 3点14分. 3 o'clock and 14 minutes. That's the basic way to tell time. It's just number 点, so the hour, and then minutes, 分. And so here are some examples. We can say for 1 o'clock, it would be 一点 or 一点钟. It might be nice to say 一点钟 to use the full phrase in that instance because 一点 sounds a lot like 一点, meaning a little. And so just to have a little bit more clarity, it might be nice to say 一点钟, but it's not necessary. Here we have 2:25. In Chinese, it's 2点 because 点 functions as a measure word, so we use 2. 2点25分. 2点25分. And here, 5:07, it's 5点07分. Notice I added the ling again because I'm skipping a unit in a sense. I'm going to get 5点07分 to show that it's 5:07. All right, so I want to now teach you a few special words to talk about things like half past and quarters of the hour, and another phrase down here talking about like 10 minutes to 2 o'clock, something like that. So here we have how we talk about half past. If I want to say 3:30, I use the word 半. So it's 3点半. 半 means half. So 3点半, it means 3 o'clock and a half. 3点半, that's half past 3. You can also say 3点30分. That's perfectly fine as well. Here we have, this is very common. Hearing 半 is very common. Here we have 克, which is talking about quarters. So you can use it if I'm saying 3:15 or 3:45, I can say 3点1刻 or 3点3刻, 3:15 and 3:45. This is less common. You won't hear it as much. It's probably much more common to say 3点15分 or 3点45分. But it is, you will hear it sometimes. And then here's another phrase, 差几分. Now the 几 means how many, and in this case it just represents some number. Of course, you wouldn't say 差几分 unless you're asking a question, but the 几 here in this phrase just represents a number. So if I want to say 10, I want to say 10 to 3, so it's 2:50, but it's 10 to 3. I would say 差10分3点. 差, this is 10. 差10分3点. So I put the phrase off. 差 means off, like not on point, but off. So it's off 10 minutes, 3 o'clock. Off 10 minutes, 3 o'clock. That's how it would sound in Chinglish. And then finally, how do we say what time is it? And again, it's super simple. Because the answer is a number, the question is 几, and it's 几because it's not very big, so it's not a huge number. It is, so the question is, I didn't put it in Pinyin here. 现在 means now. 几点? The main question here is 几点? What point? So what point of time? 几点? And the full phrase is 现在几点了? That's like, what time is it now? The le has that feeling of now, like what time is it now? I think, can't remember if I've taught that point yet, maybe not. 现在几点了? And the 现在can be included or it can be dropped. The basic phrase is 几点, or you can say 几点了, or you can say the full phrase 现在几点了. So that's how you tell time. You guys got this.